All right, I realize that I used a lot of cliches, and a cliche is usually an overused word, term, or phrase that can demonstrate a lack of original thought. But I think it's always important to get back to basics. And I'm doing this video right here because Brooklyn Audit got arrested, and I like to kind of strip things down to the least common denominator so that we can actually see what's going on, get rid of the minutia, get rid of the euphemisms and all the emotionalism. If you have one man standing here with a camera, and I don't care if the other men right now, we're just going to exclude the fact that they're armed and they believe they have authority of the state and they have uniforms on. We're just going to put that on the back burner for right now. You have a man with a camera standing at the 75th precinct there in New York City, and all he wants to do is record. He's not there to harm. He's not there to threaten. As a matter of fact, he's there to actually pick up a form, a complaint form. And then you have other men, mere men, who are barring access to a publicly accessible lobby. And now these men, yeah, they have uniforms on, but let's pretend that they don't, that they're just dressed like the rest of us. These men believe that they have the right to restrict the rights of another person who's only got a camera. What is the harm of these people who call themselves police officers for somebody to come into their public lobby and just record? And why are they sticking to a policy, an ordinance? Why would they stick to an actual law if there was an actual law? Now, I'm not even saying that there's a penal code for what they're trying to enforce. I'm not saying there's a law, but even if there was, wouldn't those penal codes and laws restricting public access of a cameraman into a public lobby, wouldn't those laws be eradicated by the oath that they took to the First Amendment freedom of press? I think that it would, especially if in the minds of these badged law enforcers, the supreme law of the land is still the Constitution. So you've got to ask yourself, is this a demonstration of cognitive dissonance? Are these law enforcers, on the one hand, assenting to the fact that the supreme law of the land, including the First Amendment freedom of speech and freedom of press, is the supreme law of the land? And are they also trying to stick to a policy, an ordinance, a creed, a piece of paper scrawled out or typed out and taped to a wall? They're trying to hold to the Constitution and to the ordinances. That's cognitive dissonance, trying to hold two mutually exclusive ideas in their minds at the same time and enforcing or trying to enforce both. And you can't do it. Not in the land of reality. It's not true that you can hold to, hey, you have the freedom of the press, and hold to, hey, you don't have freedom of the press in here. And now some people would call it a limited public forum. Well, a limited public forum limits what? It limits your freedom of press. If it limits your freedom of press, then you're actually telling people, hey, this is a Constitution-free zone. And you might as well just start saying that. So Brooklyn Audits got arrested for simply being a man with a camera who wants to record in a publicly accessible police precinct lobby, in this case, the 75th precinct in New York City, and the badged armed men who have denied their oath, who are dishonoring their oath to freedom of the press, are telling this guy, you can't have freedom of press. That's what's going on. And that's why I say when injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. That's why I say when injustice is done to one man anywhere, injustice is done to all men everywhere. If they're going to do this to Brooklyn Audit, they're going to do it to everybody. So I appreciate any man or woman with a camera who goes into a public lobby and is threatened by police. I appreciate their wherewithal. I appreciate their bravery. I appreciate their courage, because they're in there doing something and trying to collect information so that other people can see it. They're putting themselves in danger so you don't have to. It's like that Drano. We work hard so you don't have to. But this is what's going on. And this is truly injustice, because these law enforcement officers are even breaking the golden rule. They would not want to be harassed and punished for doing something they have a perfect right in the land of the free, home of the brave, the supposed land of the free, home of the brave, to do in the first place. And that's why this is so important to get these videos out and to give support to people like Brooklyn Audit, because he literally did nothing wrong, which brings us to another term that a lot of people like to pervert, and that's crime. You've only committed a crime if you've created a victim. If there is no victim, there can be no crime. And if anybody who's watching this video disagrees with this no victim, no crime idea, then you tell me what's the truth. What's the truth? Can there truly be a crime because you disobeyed a politician's law? Doesn't there have to be a victim? Doesn't there have to be property damage? Doesn't there have to be an unwillingness to pay for property damage or property theft for there to be a crime? If there is no victim, there is no crime. Brooklyn Audit did not commit a crime here. Brooklyn Audit was actually engaged in a constitutionally protected activity, and then he got penalized for it. He got all of his rights taken away because they put him in cuffs. I'm not going to play the video. They put him in cuffs, and they took him into the precinct and threw him into a cage where he has zero freedoms simply because he was exercising his freedoms. It's a retaliatory arrest. Oh, you think you're gonna act like a free American in our precinct? Ain't gonna happen. If you act like you're a free American in our precinct, engage in a constitutionally protected activity of freedom of press, we're gonna treat you as a criminal and we're gonna take away 100% of your rights, while real criminals in New York City get to go free. Not only that, this cop that you see right here on the screen, he admitted he doesn't know the law regarding not filming in a publicly accessible lobby in the 75th precinct. He doesn't know. It doesn't come to mind. I can't think of the law, but I'm going to go ahead and enforce what I can't think of anyway. Talk about hypocrisy. Talk about inconsistency. Talk about injustice. If there's anything that is injustice, it's this right here. Every American needs to see this video right here. Every American needs to put themselves in the shoes of Brooklyn Audit. Is this how you want your mother treated, your sister, your father, your grandmother? No, the answer is no. If you're honest with yourself, no, you don't want them treated like that. So go to Brooklyn Audit's channel, give him some support. I talked to San Joaquin Valley Transparency today. He said as far as he knows, Brooklyn Audit is still in jail, which is another ridiculous thing because now the New York taxpayers are going to have to pay to keep Brooklyn Audit in a cage when Brooklyn Audit didn't even commit a crime to be thrown into a cage. So leave your thoughts about this. Give Brooklyn Audit, I'll put Brooklyn Audit's link in the description and the pinned comment. Give him some love, give him some support. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com, and I will see you in the next video.
Subscribe for more tyranny-busting content.